Radiation here. Hello everybody, how are you all doing? So yeah, this is going to be another Mortal Kombat tournament stream. Right now I think it's going to be a double elimination Swiss, so it's going to be here for a bit of time. So yeah, I decided to start 10 minutes early. I'm not going to be officially starting the tournament. There's still people signing up and they still have to organize all the matches and all that. So well, yeah, hope you're all doing well, and also the other, actually not the other day, yesterday I participated in a tournament called the Coliseum, and I ended up making it to the top 8. There was also a Swiss system there too, so I ended up making the top 8, which was a single elimination. Then I ended up being on stream, and on stream I actually defeated one of the better players. I think he was one of the top players, so I'm glad I was able to do that. So meanwhile, I'm going to be streaming here. And one moment, please. There's just one quick thing I want to do. So let's see. How do I do this? Channel. Okay, so just a shout out to Sicarios. He is the one who showed me the tourney, the Coliseum tourney. So that's the one I attended. So I'm actually going to post his Twitch channel in the chat right now, and that should just take a moment to do. Let me bring up the chat room. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, there's just copy and pasted the channel. But yeah, that's the channel if you want to feel free to follow it. But yeah, Sicario is the, hold on, you might hear an echo. I was hearing myself on Twitch. As I was saying, that's his Twitch channel. Sicario is the one who showed me the Coliseum tourney. In fact, I could probably show the YouTube channel as well. You can sign up for it on Start GG. I think the League of Tourneys is already gone. But yeah, I'm definitely down to. I might participate in another tourney, League of Tourneys, especially when Mortal Kombat 1 comes out. This is a good set of tourneys. Yeah, this is actually. I'll also post the tourney I was actually in, so but yeah, that's me in the top 8. I mean, I'll probably hold on, I'm hearing myself on Twitch again. I don't want any echoes on the mic. But yeah, as I was saying, I'll probably participate in another Coliseum tourney. I don't know if I'm going to do it on stream. I participated in it off stream yesterday. I didn't participate on stream, but I was being streamed by the Coliseum YouTube channel. But yeah, I just posted the YouTube channel, and that should have a bunch of information there. That was the YouTube video they streamed. Yeah, it's a good tourney. The admin was very nice. They also did a very good job at organizing the stream. They were patient. They were nice. So I appreciate that. Well, meanwhile, I'm waiting. I already checked into the tourney. It's still going to be another 5 minutes. The ESL is still waiting for everybody to check in. To clarify, the Coliseum and ESL tourneys are two different kind of tourneys. ESL, this is the one I usually attend. In fact, I've actually been attending these tourneys since 2019, believe it or not. Even before COVID happened. Should I, I guess I can give a mini lesson. I can only do it like for 5 minutes though. I'll do it.
Sub-Zero. Scorpion.
I'll do another Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero. Kronika's Keep.
A little tip, this is just a small tip. I'm going to show you the difference. Again, I don't have much time. I don't really have much time to give a big lesson, so I'll give one quick lesson though. So, obviously somebody can do the breakaway with 2 defensive meters, right? So that's why it's a bad idea. If let's say you get somebody frozen, if you stun somebody, and then they can do the breakaway, right? But they can't do the breakaway though if you jump and hit a punch, because the punch will knock them in the air. They won't be able to do the breakaway until they hit the air, which won't be until 3 hits later, and by then they may, the round may have already been won. But it's better to, if somebody has like 2 meters intact, it's better to just land the punch. You may not get as much damage, but at least you'll get, it's better than losing a combo because of a breakaway. And speaking of these meters, something I have noticed in Mortal Kombat 1, I'm sure everybody here now who's watching this knows by now that Mortal Kombat 1 is just around the corner. And to be specific, I think it's launching in late September, so literally less than 3 months. So I'm looking forward to that. But one thing, I'm probably gonna sound like a brat here, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I'm going to miss the defensive and the offensive meters. I noticed that in Mortal Kombat 1, it looks like, I haven't really seen that much of it gameplay-wise, so I can't make a proper judgment, but it looks like that they're bringing back the classic meter. What I mean by that is the meter they had back, the kind of meter they have in like Street Fighter, the meter they had back in, Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat 10, or Mortal Kombat X, to state the title accurately. What you would have to do is you would have to like land attacks, get hit, land special attacks and all that to build the meter up. And in Mortal Kombat 11, that actually changed, where the meter would just recharge. So if you burn a meter, see, it would just recharge. Doesn't matter how many attacks I use, how many buttons I press, or how much I get attacked. It just recharges at a certain rate. And I actually did like that in Mortal Kombat 11. But right now it looks like, I might be wrong, maybe they'll have different options, kind of like what they have in like Marvel vs. Capcom or the old Street Fighter games. But I am going to miss, if it's not here, I'm really going to miss the fact that we have automatic recharge meters. And I'm especially going to miss the defensive and offensive meters. I miss the fact that you can actually do certain wake-up attacks by burning an offense and defense meter. You have to use a defense meter to use an interactive. But right now it looks like we don't have those, 2 different meters. It looks like it's just one set of meters that have I think 3 bars, so I'm gonna miss it, to be honest. But they are bringing Fatal Blow back. I like the fact that you don't have access to it until it's not fighting for a meter. It's basically a last resort move, and I like the fact that they're bringing that back in. Because in all honesty, in Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat 10, those meters you would use, you'd need to access an X-ray / Fatal Blow. It's pretty much the same thing. But you need to fill up all meters, and if you missed it, you would lose your meters that you grinded for. But it doesn't look like they're doing that in Mortal Kombat 1. It looks like that those meters are really only for enhanced moves. That's what it looks like. But again, they might have different options. I'm thinking they might have that stuff. They might have that stuff from Mortal Kombat 11. What am I saying? They might have that stuff from the old Street Fighter games. CV. What is it called? Capcom versus SNK, so CVS2. They had those options where you could have like a classic meter or like a different meter. Unfortunately, I don't remember the names, and I don't really play those games that often. I'm just hoping they bring back something like this for Mortal Kombat 11, because I am going to miss the automatic recharge mechanic, because it kind of discouraged you from, mashing buttons. It actually encouraged you to, play more defensively, keep your neutral, just wait for it to charge. I really like that Mortal Kombat 11. And in Mortal Kombat 1, if they're taking that away, I'm going to be sad. But I'm still looking forward to the game, don't get me wrong. I'm just going to miss this mechanic. Let's see. Alright. Looks like I'm going to be facing my first opponent, so hope it goes well. Yeah, this is gonna be double elimination Swiss. Alright, I'm gonna mute the mic.
Scorpion. Sub-Zero. The Hourglass.
Testing one.
Our combat is renewed, Scorpion.
It never ended, Sub-Zero.
It will end today.
Round one. Fight.
Ask for mercy.
Round two. Fight. Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Aaron Black. Charon ship.
Why not fight for Earthrealm?
Drakes are stronger in Outworld.
A fool and his vice are soon departed.
Round one. Fight.
Mindless.
Round two. Fight. Sub-Zero wins.
Okay, that takes care of that. Glad I was able to win that first set, so again, it's in the Swiss system, double elimination Swiss. I'm only going to get paired up with somebody who also wins the first match, and so on, so it's only going to get harder from here, so I'll do my best. I'm not interested in any of those. Let me give another lesson.
Sub-Zero.
To be honest, though, you see, here's the big thing. When it comes, I know it's a Mortal Kombat stream, and I, shouldn't really be talking that much about Tekken. But I think this is necessary as an analogy. So, the thing is that in Tekken, with the games, like, each game, the characters have similar movesets. Characters play in similar ways. Sure, one move might affect the opponent if it hits different than the previous game. For example, Law, like, some of his moves that will just knock you down in Tekken 7, it may actually lead to a combo. That's an example. But overall, the characters' movesets are pretty much going to be similar. That's the big thing. That is actually not the case in Mortal Kombat. In Mortal Kombat, especially after Mortal Kombat 9, it's actually always been this way, but in Mortal Kombat 9, Sub-Zero's moveset in Mortal Kombat 9 is totally different in Mortal Kombat X. Sub-Zero's moveset in Mortal Kombat X is totally different in Mortal Kombat 11. The only things that are similar are special moves. Special moves have always been pretty much the same. But overall, their move list totally different. So, in all honesty, sure, I can probably give those lessons, I could probably give those lessons right now, but the question is it really going to work? Besides, like, teaching, about basic fighting game mechanics, how to keep your neutral, what's, like, how to do certain combos, maybe combos, but point is that, the particular combos I teach or how to play Sub-Zero may have nothing to do with how you play as him in Mortal Kombat 1. So the question is, how useful will my lessons in Mortal Kombat 11 end up being in Mortal Kombat 1? I don't know. We'll have to find out. So, I mean, I'll do my best, there may still be Mortal Kombat 11 tourneys after Mortal Kombat 1 launches. May not be that long, but there may still be some, you could still try to go to those. The point is that, I don't know how useful my lessons are going to be, but I'll still, provide them. I'm also, second thing, though, is that in Mortal Kombat 11, it's easy to run out of lesson ideas. In Tekken, it's not, it's a lot to teach. But Mortal Kombat 11, it's mainly about speed. Knowing mechanics is one thing, but it really applies to speed, how fast you can execute the mechanics, which just takes practice, not lessons, but simple practice. Ranked matches are the best way if you don't have a population of 100 people in your town playing the game regularly, or competitively, I should say. And I'm not exaggerating when I say 100 people, because to get better in a fighting game, like, this isn't just Mortal Kombat, this is in any game, and I've learned this playing Tekken and Soul Calibur. To get better at a fighting game, there are only two ways you'll really grind up. Like, you'll noticeably grind up, at a competitive level. You'll rise up. So, you can play ranked matches. Ranked matches, in my opinion, are a really great way. Sure, the lag and the netcode may be bad for certain fighting games, and some, especially on Wi-Fi, it can be a real issue. But even if the connection is bad, it will still give you experience. It'll still train your reaction times. Reaction time is a critical thing in fighting games. You may know all the mechanics, but if you have a slow reaction time, you're likely never going to be able to defeat an opponent who is faster than you are. You understand what I'm saying? So this is actually a big reason why I still get hammered by certain opponents, because some people, many people have defeated me just simply have faster reaction times than I do. So ranked match is a really good way to increase your reflexes. It gives you that practice. It also teaches you how to play under pressure, which helps increase your reaction time. And also, the big thing is that fighting games are a very complicated thing. And people play fighting games in many different kind of ways. So if you play ranked matches, you can have a very diverse experience. You can play against many different kinds of players, how they play and all that. So that's another great thing about ranked matches. And ranked matches are especially great is if, let's say, you live in a region where you don't really have that many people playing your game. Ranked matches, in all honesty, I don't mean to sound harsh here, but I think ranked matches are probably going to be the only way you can really, noticeably rise up competitively. Because, reaction times and diverse experiences. You need, to play against different kinds of people. I mean, just think about it. Each fighting game, Mortal Kombat 1 at launch is going to have, I think, 25 to 35 characters, a lot of characters, and you can play one character in different ways. So imagine a game with 25 characters. You really need that diverse training, diverse experience. Learn how to fight against certain characters, how people learn fight against strategies on regarding how people play certain characters. It is a grind, to be honest. Now, for example, the second way, though, is if you may not need ranked matches, but here's the big thing, only if you live in a region where you have maybe 100 people, I would say at least 100 people, maybe even 200 people who actually play the game regularly. The Tekken players in NorCal, Northern California has a lot of people who play Tekken regularly, and they play it competitively, and they even have regular offline meetings in Northern California. So these people get a lot of training, a lot of diverse experience, because they play against 100 or maybe even 200 different kinds of ways to play Tekken. So that could also be a substitute, but you have to have a really big population. For regions that don't really have that high of a competitive gaming population, ranked matches, in my opinion, are by far the best way to rise up. Sure, if let's say you have maybe 10 people who play your game, that will definitely help. Don't get me wrong, they'll definitely help with your experience. It may even help you increase your reaction time, but it's only going to take you so far, because just 10 people playing a game, it's not good enough to be able to increase your reaction time to a diverse, in a diverse way. When I say diverse, I mean in many different kinds of ways people play a fighting game, because there are lots of ways. Just picture the characters alone, the many characters alone. So if you only have 10 people there, sure, it'll help you, but it's only going to get you so far. Again, a high population of people who play locally, a high population of local people who play a competitive game regularly, or ranked matches. Those, in my opinion, are the two, only might be an overstatement, but the point is those are the two ways, those two strategies are by far the best methods of rising up in a competitive fighting game, increasing your skill level, increasing So yeah, I guess I could call that a lesson, though, advice somehow. And again, this, if you can disagree with me if you want, it's totally fine. I always respect this opinion. This is just my perspective based on, how long I've been playing fighting games. This is just what I've experienced. I've actually talked to some of the people from NorCal, and they, a lot of people from NorCal have actually told me, Northern California told me, that they never really play ranked matches that much, but they do rise up competitively. They're, a lot of the Northern California people are really good at Tekken because they get that diverse experience with, 100 to 200 local people. I'm not 100% sure what the exact numbers are nowadays. Some of them might just be waiting for Tekken 8, but I know for sure that at pre-COVID times, Northern California had a really high population. I think, might be an overstatement, but I think they have one point over 200 people playing, practicing locally. I don't know what COVID did to that number, though. I don't know how, I'm not sure how many people still play it competitively, but sounds like it's still quite a few. I'm 99.9% sure it's gonna really rise up when Tekken 8 launches, whenever that is. Mortal Kombat has a release date, I think of September 19th or something like that. I gotta look it up. September 23rd, 19th. It's late September. Not Mortal Kombat. Tekken 8. We don't know. We still technically don't know when it's gonna be launched. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure we'll get more news soon, though. But yeah, I guess I could call that a lesson. That was a little mini lesson, even though I didn't really do anything. But yeah, so for Sub-Zero's combo, it's always try to good. It's if let's say your character is frozen, right? That's a good way to get a fatal blow. You don't want to juggle on the corner. You just want to land the kick and then do the string, 2, 1 string, and then immediately hit the fatal blow command, which is L2 and R2. In all honesty, I don't know how to say that on a fighting stick. So, point is the fatal blow command, whatever that is for you. You know, what's interesting is that Mortal Kombat, I think, has definitely been the most. I missed that combo. But the thing is, Mortal Kombat has definitely been the most creative. Like I think, in my opinion, they have all the fighting games have really taken the most chances. At least, like, they're the famous fighting games. You know, a lot of the fighting games out there, right? You know, that disappeared in the 90s. But Mortal Kombat really did take a lot of chances. You know, think about it. You have Mortal Kombat 1, which didn't even have like actual strings. You know, maybe you might have been able to knock the character in the air and then land, follow it up with a special move, but it just had like certain commands. You couldn't even like land strings or like real combos, just basic attacks and special moves. And then Mortal Kombat 2 added more characters. It was pretty much the same thing, only normal hits, or jump hits, and then special moves. So no like actual strings or combos. Then Mortal Kombat 3 added in combos though. Then you could run close to your opponent and add in a combo, but you could only do a combo if you were like super close to your opponent. And you had to be pretty fast in execution. So those were like the first 3 Mortal Kombat games, and they were all 2D to clarify. And then came Mortal Kombat 4, which pretty much made it 3D. So it was almost like it was vaguely a 3D game. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like they were experimenting with how to make Mortal Kombat into a 3D fighting game, believe it or not. So they kind of had like mini sidestepping, I think. They kind of had your character move around the arena. And they brought back the way you could do combos from Mortal Kombat 3, where you have to run up close to your opponent and then land an attack. And I think you would even pick up weapons, if I recall correctly, too. So it was, it was a really interesting change of pace. But then what really caused a change of pace, though, after Mortal Kombat 4 was Mortal Kombat 5, which is also referred to as Deadly Alliance. Mortal Kombat 5 actually made it into a official 3D fighting game, believe it or not. So the characters' moves were totally different, like completely different. And if I recall correctly, even Mortal Kombat 4, the combos and the strings were different than in Mortal Kombat 3. Could be wrong, but I think that was it. But Deadly Alliance, I mean, imagine suddenly switching from like 2D to kind of 3D, and then suddenly you're at 3D, like official 3D, and it had sidestepping mechanics. And what was really interesting is that you could even switch fighting stances, and you could even transition to another fighting stance during the middle of a string, and then you could even pull out a weapon, which was really interesting. So it was kind of like, I'm going to sound a little silly saying this, but it was almost like Soul Calibur, if both characters picked their weapons out. So it was really interesting, and they even had clashing sounds and all that. It was really cool. And then Mortal Kombat Deception, which in my opinion is actually not the best competitive Mortal Kombat game, but the best Mortal Kombat game, to play for fun, because of all the mini games they had in there. But that's for another discussion. Points out, Mortal Kombat Deception really went crazy though. They actually had stage transitions where you could knock your opponent off a balcony and you're suddenly at a totally different area. They also had death traps, which is basically a violent version of ring out. So you can knock your opponent out of the ring and then you'd basically see a fatality. So it was really crazy how many chances they took. And they also, I think, added in combo breakers where you could break out of a combo. You could also knock your opponents through the grounds. You could even pick up weapons like a Deadly Alliance. It was really crazy. I don't know if that was a Deadly Alliance. Part is you could pick up secret weapons, and that just to name a few. So the moves, the character moves though, were similar. The characters that made it back, it was similar to Deadly Alliance, but even that was a little bit different. But it was pretty much, like an enhanced version of Deadly Alliance. That's what the gameplay was like. And a lot of the characters had similar strings, so you could probably, if you learn Deadly Alliance competitively, you could probably use that knowledge and apply it to Deception. I would venture to say that. I've never played them competitively, so I can't say, but that's just the assumption I'm making. So then in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, was also really crazy. They literally brought back like 60 characters from all the previous Mortal Kombat games. And it was kind of similar to Deception, only the only difference is that characters only had 2 fighting stances, only one unarmed stance and 1 weapon stance. But yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Maybe a little bit different depending which character you play as, but pretty much did carry over. But then came Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, which I find, I found really interesting. It was a low-budget game, and Midway, the original developers, were almost out of business back then. So it was still, in my opinion, it was still interesting gameplay, but it was totally different from the previous 3D fighting games. It was totally different strings, totally different combos and all that. They had stage transitions and all that, but it was still 3D. But it was almost like, it was kind of like some of the special moves and the voice actors. Some of the special moves were, it was almost like they were experimenting with both Injustice and Mortal Kombat 9. It was kind of like a beta game for those 2 games. And then came Mortal Kombat 9, which some people think is the best, and I can definitely understand. Not my favorite, but I thought it was a good game. And that was basically the reboot. They brought back the 3D, and they brought back strings. Then in Mortal Kombat 10, strings were totally different. Movesets were totally different except special moves. And then Mortal Kombat 11. You see, Mortal Kombat 9 and 10 were more about like being able to land combos and all that, being able to try to land, like really good combos when you got the chance. And it was also a lot faster pace of a game too. Whereas in Mortal Kombat 11, it's really mainly about neutral. That's basically what it is. I mean, again, I don't play 9 or 10 competitively, so I can't really say properly, but again, this is really just an assumption. I'm just talking about like the move sets, all that strings. I did play all of those games, casually. Played all the main Mortal Kombat games casually before. Yeah, I think enough talk. I'm gonna check to see. Oh nope. I also know that this is Anime Con this week, and a lot of people I know have gone over there, and it's a really popular event. Anime really has become popular over the last few years. It's crazy. Anime is that kind of thing where I understand why a lot of people like it. It is, sometimes it can be kind of interesting, but when it comes to anime, the only 2 anime that I really got into, watched regularly, that I really enjoyed were Naruto and part of Naruto Shippuden, and until Naruto Shippuden until the very end, and then Death Note. I really like Death Note, but other than that, it's like, anime is interesting, but it's kind of like alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, but I have nothing against people who drink alcohol. It's, alcohol is just something I don't drink. Anime is same thing. I don't have anything against people who like to watch anime, but it's just not the kind of thing I really do. But I have nothing against people who like anime. You could probably, if you watch my single-player game playthroughs, you can probably tell the kind of games I like to play. Simple, dark, and gritty games. Well, not, the game doesn't have to be dark, as long as it's like has that simple gritty vibe, I'll probably be interested at least test the game. See how it is. Alright, so let's see. It's still 4 minutes. Hey, I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. I am back. Again, using forward 4 can be very useful because it is +4 on block, which for Mortal Kombat, a +4 on block is a really good advantage. There aren't that many moves that are like that. So the great thing though is that if you get them once, they added this in back in the 2020 Aftermath expansion patch. You can actually now land a fatal blow if it lands. So a person is forced to either take the hit or take a block and be at -4, which gives us an advantage. Meanwhile, I just got called to my next match. Of course, your opponent could jump out of that if they see it coming, but they have to have a pretty fast reaction time to do that. Or they could perhaps interrupt it, or they could flawless block it, but still, all those you gotta have, like, really fast reaction time. Alright, let's see. Alright, time to join my next match. Time to meet the mic.
Sub-Zero, Cassie Cage. The Hourglass.
What's up?
You do not command the Lin Kuei.
Sub-Zero, can you just chill?
After you, Cassandra Cage.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight! Finish her. Brutality.
Let the cold be your tomb.
Sub-Zero wins. Scorpion. Black Dragon Fight Club.
Sector remains uncaptured.
We will find him, Hanzo.
When we do, the kill is mine.
Round 1. Fight.
Beg for your life.
Round 2. Fight. Brutality.
This fight was your last.
Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory.
That was my opponent's choice. I don't have anything against rage quitters. You know, Mortal Kombat. You know, he quit the legal way. It's not like he unplugged or anything. Just means I get a free win. What I don't like about Tekken, though, about rage quitters in Tekken, is because in ranked matches, if they actually rage quit, the only way they can rage quit, they can't pause the game. In Mortal Kombat, you can pause the game, even though characters will still be moving. But you can, like, go into the pause menu and quit the game. And then it'll be a quitality, your opponent will automatically win. Whereas in Tekken, you can't do that. Tekken, the only way you can rage quit is if you close the application or unplug. And both of those ways, the thing, though, is that both of those ways, your opponent, if you rage quit like that, your opponent won't get the points. I don't know why it's like that, but you know, that's the way it is. And I don't like it when people rage quit in Tekken 7 because I get denied the points I should be getting for winning the ranked match. You know, if disconnections happen, I understand, but people purposely unplug or close the application, you know, it's not cool. But Mortal Kombat, it's fine because when you rage quit like that, all you're really doing is giving the opponent a free win. You know, it's your choice to make. I'm not going to judge you.
Sub-Zero. Scorpion.
Alright. I guess I could teach how to play as Scorpion. I don't know how similar his moves will be in Mortal Kombat's 12, not 12, Mortal Kombat 1. I'll do it. I don't, you know, Scorpion is obviously not my main character, but I did play as him. So I can show you some combos he can do. One thing though, first thing is that what's really interesting about Scorpion though, is that his startup move is only at 7. Whereas in Sub-Zero, I believe, it's an 8 startup. So it's 1 frame faster than Sub-Zero if you want to punish him. So let's see, what are his punishable moves? So for example, if you try to... I'll show you with Scorpion how to combo whoops. I made a little error there. Show you how to combo. That was a punish. I messed that one up. With Searing Rage Scorpion, so it's 1-1 and then down to back for quarter circle back 3, and then use the enhanced one if you have a meter, and then 1-1, 1-1, and then cancel to backboard 1, and then use the enhanced. So you need to have both enhanced meters. So the thing about Scorpion is that it's going to be really hard to get a good combo if you don't have any meters to burn. We'll see if that's still the case in Mortal Kombat 1. Oops. Look, that's like almost 300 damage, right? But here's the thing though. In the Searing Rage variant of Scorpion, he does have a move called Burning Spear, where it's down, quarter circle, back. So it's quarter circle back. That's 3. But of course, you gotta make sure you don't get punished. You can easily get punished if you don't do this at the right time. But it does enhance any spear attacks. Look at the big difference. So you gotta be careful. You can't be punished if you don't. Look at the big difference. That's 346 damage. That's a huge difference. Now again, I haven't played as Scorpion in a while, so I'm a little bit rusty with him. There could be a better combo in the chat. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. That's not the best combo. I'm doing my best. Let's see. Okay, so you could do 2, 1. Yes, you could do that. Yeah, this is one of the combos of Scorpion. You know, to be honest, I think I changed my mind. I don't think I'm going to teach how to play Scorpion. I don't really know Scorpion that well enough in Mortal Kombat 11. In Mortal Kombat 1, I'm probably going to study him more. In Mortal Kombat 11, I think I'm just a little too rusty with Scorpion, and in all honesty, I'm probably not going to study him. If Mortal Kombat 1 was, like, not around the corner, if, let's say, it was, like, if it was like 2 years away, sure, I'd probably study Scorpion again. But I'm like, you know, it's probably going to take a while for me to get, you know, that familiar. And then, you know, I'm like, why spend all that time when I can just wait for Mortal Kombat 1 and play as him there? So I'm just going to wait for Mortal Kombat 1 before I study Scorpion again, like really study him. I mean, I know the basics with him, but it's not going to be easy to teach some of the more advanced stuff. You know, I really know the advanced stuff with Scorpion. Like, I don't really... I don't really remember Scorpion's advanced stuff as well as, you know, Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, I know of a lot of his advanced moves, but Scorpion, not so much, because I never really played as him that much, and then I stopped playing him, period, after a while, so... You know, to be honest, I wasn't, No, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something I forgot. Whoops. Again, you know, their movesets are, you know, going to be very different. They're probably going to be very different in Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah, like, I can tell. I mean, you can tell that the gameplay, if you just look at the trailers, look at the gameplay on YouTube, you can tell that it's so different from Mortal Kombat 11 already, in many ways. That's probably an overstatement. What I mean is, like, I should say that it's easy to predict that. Like, you know, I haven't actually played Mortal Kombat 1 myself, so I actually don't know, but my prediction is going to be a bit different. What to do? Problem is, I'm running out of stuff to teach. That's a real problem. And again, you know, the other stuff, and secondly, even if I did repeat the lessons, you know, again, how useful is it going to be for Mortal Kombat 1? They are bringing back Sub-Zero's Ice Clone back, though. A lot of people were complaining that it was gone in Mortal Kombat 11. If there are any towers I can do. Just occupy some time. Sorry, I was adjusting my mic. I don't know. I think it's just gonna be filler, honestly. That's the thing about Mortal Kombat 11, though, is that one of the things I don't like about Mortal Kombat 11 is that the towers, in my opinion, are really not that interesting. They're fun, but in my opinion, they get stale after a while. This one thing I really miss from Mortal Kombat X. So here's the big thing. Mortal Kombat 11 is definitely my favorite game competitively. I really like it as a competitive game. I think it's a great tournament style game. But outside of the fact it's a good competitive game, when it comes to towers, it's like Mortal Kombat X like one-ups Mortal Kombat in almost every Mortal Kombat 11 in almost every other way, in my opinion. Like example, I would say the only two things that Mortal Kombat 11 is like really, actually there are three things. So there are three things I think Mortal Kombat 11 is better at than Mortal Kombat X. One, the music. The music I think is a lot better in Mortal Kombat 11, the soundtrack. Two, the competitive gameplay, and that's just my personal opinion. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that, but that's just my personal opinion. I think Mortal Kombat 11 is a lot a lot better as a competitive game than Mortal Kombat X, because I do like strategizing. I do like fighting games that encourage a good neutral, and encourage strategizing. And Mortal Kombat 11 really encourages, like, it's kind of like low key, slow strategic gameplay, which I do like. So. And number 3 is the story. The story in Mortal Kombat 11 was definitely so much better than Mortal Kombat X. I mean, no doubt about it. And I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. So, really only 2 things that I think... maybe only one thing. I think most people would probably agree with me that the story is much better in Mortal Kombat 11. The soundtrack, though, is debatable, and especially the competitive gameplay is definitely debatable there. So, really only one thing that I would say is undeniably better than in Mortal Kombat X. Some people might debate with me on the towers, though, but you see, here's the thing in Mortal Kombat X, and I could be just spoiled by that. What I really liked about that game as a multiplayer game in general, not a competitive game, but a multiplayer game, I like the fact that it actually had like many different kinds of towers. It had like a premier tower, a daily tower, an hourly tower, and then it even had like an online tower where you could actually go head-to-head with your opponent and race to the finish line, actually see how long it takes to complete a tower. And there was also a team battle. There's like so many goodies in Mortal Kombat X, and the best part about it, the thing that was, I think, the ice cream of the sundae, was the fact that we had what we called faction battles. And what that meant was that there were like 5 factions, AI factions you could stand with. I think one was the Black Dragon. Another one was the Netherrealm, or Quan Chi. I don't know, Quan Chi was the leader of it, but it was basically a Netherrealm faction. Then there was the Special Forces, the White Lotus, and the Lin Kuei. Those are the 5. And wherever you teamed up with, you would need to complete certain towers. And you could also play ranked matches or play on some online towers, but you had to complete certain tasks in order to get a certain amount of points. And you could get up to 1,000 points a day. You could also complete some daily objectives. I like the fact that they had that kind of grind there. So I like the fact that that kind of encouraged you to help the faction you teamed up with win. You'd be encouraged to play those towers that help you stay engaged, and I really like that. So, and then, the faction wars would go on weekly. So at the end of a week, whichever faction had like the most points scored, they would actually give you a special prize, where you'd have like a special fatality or a faction kill. It's basically a special fatality, and you would have access to that. And it would kind of rinse and repeat weekly. And I really did like how it kind of gave that engagement. It kind of had like a multiplayer game element in there. It was almost like a single player game within a multiplayer game, if that makes sense. And I really enjoyed that. I really liked the faction battles. The problem is in Mortal Kombat 11 that the faction battles were gone. It was almost, the towers in my opinion were kind of like an ice cream sundae without the ice cream. That's why I didn't really like it that much. It's like, sure, the towers were there, but besides winning some prizes, what else was there to do? It was nothing really that was encouraging me to keep going. Whereas in Mortal Kombat X, the faction wars, to earn the special fatality or to help the faction you side with win, to compete against other factions. It was really cool. And in my opinion, Mortal Kombat 11, I was disappointed it got taken out. Again, it was like an ice cream sundae without the ice cream. Alright, let's see where we're at. I have 10 minutes left. Let's see if I can teach another lesson.
Sub-Zero. Scorpion.
The other thing I like better about the Mortal Kombat X, I really like the stage design. In my opinion, Mortal Kombat 11 did have some good stages, but in my opinion, they weren't really as interesting as they were in Mortal Kombat X. I especially like the pit stage they added in post-launch. It was really cool. And yeah, there were just a lot of other stages I liked. In my opinion, I like the design of better than Mortal Kombat 11. Now, the graphics is debatable. Some people think Mortal Kombat X is better. Some people think Mortal Kombat 11 is better. What I say is that I think it depends what your tastes are. I think they pretty much even out there. In my opinion, I think in the long run, the graphics in Mortal Kombat X are better because the lighting is a little bit better, but that's just my opinion. So not by far, but just by a slim margin. Tiny little bit. But again, that's just my personal taste. fighting was the right term to say for Mortal Kombat X. I might be wrong about that. I'll have to take a, you know, I have to say, I'm debating now, is Mortal Kombat X really better? I haven't played Mortal Kombat X in a while. I might have to take a look at it again to really decide. I don't know, it's you know what? I changed my mind. I just say they're tied. Screw it. I'll say they're equally as good. Watch how much damage, though. You know, it's really crazy how much damage you can get if your opponent's in the corner with Sub-Zero. I'm gonna try to get the. I've already taught this before. I'm gonna try to. Look at that. That's almost 400 points of damage. That's crazy. So imagine this. Imagine your opponent wakes up. You successfully land a throw. Look at that. That's more than half your opponent's life. That combined with a throw, like literally more. Especially if it's an enhanced. Especially if it's an enhanced throw. You know, if you get a crushing blow, it's like 300 points. So do the math. That's a lot of points. 400 plus like 250. Oh, what was the crushing blow? What was it again? Okay, I need to turn on easy crushing blow. So I just want to see. $300 points. Okay, let's do the math here. So, let's say you have access to your opponent's crushing blow, right? This is crazy. So, this is why being trapped in a corner is not a good idea. Or trap your opponent in a corner. Let's say you're a plus frame, you can get meter burn and boom, right? Look at that. 397, 400 points, and then your opponent tries to do a roll to get away. Look at that! Let's do the math here. That's 700 points. So it's 397, right? That's so close to 700 points. That's like 70% of your opponent's life gone, just like that. This is why crushing blows are like super useful. You should not be wasting. I mean, if let's say you can just get that combo plus an enhanced crushing blow, a crushing blow version of a throw. I mean, that is so crazy. Not to mention the fact that let's say you can then, so let's say you're then able to land another crushing blow, which is the forward 4. Look. So land it on the opponents, and then land another one. Look, 260. So you do the math. That's 260. So then your opponent only has 40 points of life left. That's it. It's crazy. Look, one sweep, boom. One hit, 30 points, and then very easy to finish off your opponent if you don't mess up. So this is why crushing blows are super important. Of course, if you didn't land an attack like that in your opponent in the previous round, you'll still get 90 damage in the current round. Followed by 260. So what's 90 plus 260? Silly me. That's 360. That's 350 damage. Silly me. I had a blanked out for a moment. So even. So 140 with just an uppercut. So if you catch your opponent jumping. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm gonna have to get ready for my next match. That's not what I wanted to do. 140 damage, it's crazy. Let's see. careful. So I'm gonna try to land 2 crushing blows in a row. So let's say I can get the uppercut, which is a counter or to a high. Counter or punish to a high. Whoops. It was too slow there. Yes. Counters and pressure to high attack. Two crushing blows a little bit, in my opinion, cut a little bit, questionably cut short. I don't know. Let's see if I connect the fatal. Oh, it's doing a lot of damage. Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage. I take it back. That wasn't too short, especially if I can maybe get another punch before I land on the string. Not easy to see a combo land, needless to say. Well, I think I'm done trying. Just wanted to test it out. It looks like I have a new opponent, so that was perfect timing, actually. All right. I'm gonna mute my mic again soon. Testing 1.
Sub-Zero. Scorpion. Lost Hive of the Kaitin. Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight! Fatality.
Let the cold be your tomb.
Sub-Zero wins. Round 1. Fight.
The ice cracks beneath.
Round 2. Fight. Finish him. Sub-Zero wins. Fight. Fight. Your life ends. Fight. 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 Fight! 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 Fight.
Okay, I am back finally. So I had to take care of something. It took longer to complete than I previously thought. Oh no, some more people are hopping in. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm finally back, so thank you for waiting and thank you for your patience. So, for everybody who just joined, so here's what happened. I've won my first 3 sets so far. I'm currently waiting for my 4th set. It's going to be in about 5 minutes. Whoop, that's not what I want to do. Alright, so I think I'm going to give a little lesson.
Sub-Zero.
I'm running out of ideas, and again, I'm not sure how well these lessons are going to apply to Mortal Kombat 1 because it looks like the movesets are going to be very different. One thing I like to do with Sub-Zero, if the opponent is like at medium range, I like to try to tease my opponent, or not tease, but try to mess with my opponent's head by saying, "Hey, there's a long distance attack. You know, think twice before rushing in." And it's also a good way. It can also get my opponent to hesitate, which means I can rush in, or I can use back one if I see my opponent is trying to rush in. A lot of times I've been able to catch my opponent off guard by landing a back one and then following up with a string. So back one, 4, and then cancel to quarter circle forward, 1. Alright, so yeah, that's a little strategy I like to use, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do something like that in Mortal Kombat 1. Again, I'm trying to like give lessons now, since Mortal Kombat is right around the corner. I'm trying to figure out what particular lessons are going to apply to that, and I think something like this would. So it's better to try to keep it neutral. Sub-Zero should have some. I think he has some kind of hammer, so use the mid-range to your advantage. Maybe try to catch your opponent reaching, and then you can cancel it to an ice ball. Because I know for sure, whatever the strings are, I'm sure there's going to be a cancel to an ice ball. In fact, I think I've already seen the trailers. So, No, there's no point in really teaching the combos, because I know the combo execution is going to be completely different for Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat 1, the next Mortal Kombat game. And, you know, most people aren't going to be playing 11 competitively anymore, obviously, once Mortal Kombat 1 comes out, which is literally, you know, think about it, it's literally less than 2 months. Mortal Kombat 1's coming in late September, so literally less than 3 months. Uh-oh, I might have to go AFK again, just a little heads up. Just warning you, I might have to go AFK just a minute again. Hold on a second, hold on. Alright, I don't think I have to yet. Also want to check, let's see, it's about 3 minutes before my next opponent. Yeah, my opponent, I'm going to be facing my next opponent in about 3 minutes. So one moment, please. Hold on, I have to leave. Alright, I'm going to be joining my new opponent now, so. Alright. For whoever's still watching, thank you for the patience, I appreciate it. Yeah, I gotta join my next opponent. Alright. Alright. Time to join my next opponent.
Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Lost Hive of the Kaitin.
Grandfather, defeat me to earn my mantle. You honor me with your combat.
Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight!
Frosty. Freeze. Fear freezes you.
Final round. Fight!
Mindless.
Finish him! Sub-Zero wins. Round 1. Fight!
All right. So sorry, I didn't realize the mic was mute. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the first match. But the good news though is that, hold on. Sorry, so as I was saying, the good news though is that this is double elimination Swiss. That means I'm still in there. I'm not out of it yet, so I can still, I can still get 7 wins. So here's how it works. Everybody, like, if you win all of them, you can only play 8 max, regardless of how you win, how much you win. So I've won 3 so far, and I've lost my first set just now, as you saw. So here's how it works. I am going to be playing at least 1 more for sure. I know I'll be playing 5 for sure. If I win all 4, that's it for me. If let's say if I win 3, then I know for sure I'll be playing another 4 more. But if I lose the next 2 though, no, if I lose the next 1, if I lose just 1 more, I'm gone. So let's see.
Sub-Zero. Scorpion.
I do like Deadpool. It's one of the OG stages. It was introduced in Mortal Kombat 2. Then I think it came back in Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I think it did. I don't really count the Mortal Kombat Trilogy. It's more of a summary of all first 3 Mortal Kombat games. It officially came back though in Mortal Kombat 6, which is Mortal Kombat Deception. Then it came back in Mortal Kombat 9 and then Mortal Kombat 11. A little fun fact. See, when you jump and hit your opponent with a punch, look how much of a frame advantage I have, which means the guaranteed string. I'll combo off of that. See, what I like to do, when it comes to fatal blows, the big question is, I think, I haven't really stated this particular thing. Now, this might be different from Mortal Kombat 1, but for Mortal Kombat 11, I'll show you. So, wait, what am I doing? This isn't what I want to do. So, hold on. So, why don't I put my player's life at, like, over 30. So, I'll do whoops. Come on. We'll do 35. Let's see if that'll kill my opponent. See, barely... My opponent is barely alive with only 30% life left. I land a fatal blow. Now, let's say I do this. Let's say I get a string. Remember, land, back 1, 4, and then immediately press the fatal blow command, like right after it lands. So I'll do it again. Just press it even even before it lands, right after you press the button, the 4 button. Immediately press fatal blow. The quicker, the better. See, that's 394. You do the math. That's 394, right? So what? Here's something better. So this is assuming your opponent's not always going to be backed into the corner. So let's say your opponent is not backed into the corner, right? Let's say you're able to freeze them though, or punish. Let's say you got to punish and a freeze. Or let's say you get the best case scenario where you're able to get, the punish. Oh, let me reset this. Why am I dropping this? There we go. I'm used to doing the other punch, but this is for maximum damage to show you. It's just show and tell. The other punch I could do, it has further reach, but 10 points less damage. Still pretty good. But look at that, that's 432 damage. lot. That really is a lot. Let me show you again. That's not what I wanted to do. A lot of damage. So, but let's say I just get this alone. Let's see how much this damage this is. 405, still not bad. So let's say our opponent, let's move my opponent's life up a little bit. Let's say my opponent has like 40, let's say 40% life left, right? Whoops. My opponent's frozen. I'll kill the opponent, yeah. So let's say my opponent, though, has maybe 43. Let's say my opponent has half of his life. Let's say we know for sure that the Fatal Blow is not going to kill. But if let's say my opponent has half a life, we'll keep it simple. Let's say I can freeze my opponent. So it won't kill, but it's going to land a heck of a lot of damage, and their opponent's going to panic. Look, see, it's... Most of your opponent's life is gone now. This is why it's very important to make sure you make use of your Fatal Blow. Unless you know for sure your Fatal Blow is going to hit alone, it's better to use some strings right before the Fatal Blow. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the same. It's pretty much going to be the same thing in Mortal Kombat 1. This is going to apply to Mortal Kombat 1. The strings are obviously going to be different for Sub-Zero, but basically it's going to be the same. And crushing blows, you're going to want to make sure you make the best of them. If the crushing blows are in, I gotta see if crushing blows are actually in Mortal Kombat 1. I really hope so, because they really add in good strategy mechanics in Mortal Kombat 11, and I'd be sad to see them go. Really, I would be sad.
Calm yourself.
Yeah, that's other Sub-Zero I played. Simple. He just had like faster reaction times than I did. He's just obviously more experienced. Just gotta keep him in practice. I mean, I almost got him in a few rounds. I did get him. I did get him in one round. I mean, I was almost able to win a round against him, so I can definitely beat him. Just need more practice. Here's another thing you can make Sub-Zero's shoulder dash. I don't know how well if this is going to apply to Mortal Kombat 1, but the crushing blow. In fact, I'll even put on easy crushing blow access. Whoops. Nope. Hold on, let me change this. Easy crush. Where's easy crushing blow? Oh, it was on. That's strange. Why isn't it activating? There we go. Hold it long enough. See, 267, right? That's more than a quarter of your opponent's life gone. So if you catch your opponent just kind of mashing or trying to whip mash buttons, use a shoulder dash. I mean, even without the crushing blow, it's still going to be a lot of damage. Well, let me show you without the crushing blow. See, 175, that's almost like 20%, not too far from 20% damage, so it's still going to be pretty good. Even without the enhanced, though, the meter, it's almost 10% of your opponent's life. It's like about 9%. Still pretty good. Of course, it's only if you're too far to do the back one, or the back two. Remember, back two is a mid. See, back one can be ducked, and really good people can duck it and then punish you if they're quick enough, or counter you. But if you do a mid, though, it's gonna, you can't duck a mid. So if your opponent tries to duck the high, remember, if you duck a high and block, you're not gonna miss the high. You will block the high, but you won't be able to punish it because it's not going to be a whiff. It won't whiff. But you can whiff. If you duck a high, you can just. In fact, let me show you. See? See, I can punish and then give myself a huge frame advantage with just, and this is a 7-frame startup if I'm quick enough. See? That's just with a 7 frame, so imagine high that's more frames, what you can do. See, this is a mid. So you see, I can't duck a mid. That's the things you can get launched with a mid that can hit you in the air. See, you can't duck a mid. Won't whip. You can block it, but you can't duck it. Hold on, one more, please. What's the Scorpion have if that has a good high? This one. Huh. Huh. That's strange. Hold on, maybe that's Scorpion. That's I should have picked Sub-Zero because I know what the right move to use for Sub-Zero. Wait a second, an uppercut? No, that's not gonna work. Hold on. Or a spear. We'll do a spear. Ah, shoot. Hold on. Okay, What am I doing? So this is a high, right? You could block it though if you're close enough. If you really want to get fancy, you could duck and then land the uppercut. I'm gonna switch characters. I'm gonna see if you can punish Sub-Zero with high. That's 14 frame startup.
Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Deadpool.
There we go. See, that's the thing about Sub-Zero's back one, is that it's a high, but someone could easily duck it. If they're quick enough, they can punish you like that. That's why with Sub-Zero, I'm going to get my opponent to stop doing this now. It's important to use a mid. So you may not get as much damage, just get over 10%, you'll still get something. It's still better than nothing at all. You gotta be careful. If your opponent is expecting a back one, if your opponent's close enough, they can't duck it and then punish you. So you gotta be like super careful. See if I can do this. I'm gonna experiment with something here right now. Whoop, that's not what I want to do. Whoop. So you gotta be careful is that I can be punished with an uppercut. And I can reach it if I use one punish. You gotta be careful doing that. With Sub-Zero, if you use the mid though, I'll show you. See? Can't duck it. They're both mids, which is even better. The scary thing, though, is that if you get caught, if you try to duck a high, and get caught in an ice ball, you can be caught in a combo. Like, I'll show you how to do it right now. I can even apply to a fatal blow if I time it right. See how much damage I do if I apply it to a fatal blow. It has 357 damage. That's like 35% of the life. Pretty good. I'm gonna try something right now. I'm gonna try to spawn my opponent at the corner. I think that's not what I want to do. Wait, how do I get my opponent to spawn at the corner again? Reset distance. Nope. Reset position. Right, there we go. There we go. Perfect. Look at that, it's almost 300 points. You're at the corner with the enhanced ice. So let's say I don't have any meters to burn, right? No crushing blow. It's still 20% life. That's still not bad considering the fact you have no meters to burn. That's a little too much to ask for. It's 250. It's 208 without meters. I'll show you again what happens if you have both meters to burn. Wait, that's not what I wanted. I'm sorry, I'm being stupid right now. That's over 30% of your life. It's pretty good. Now, of course, if you have a 1 meter burn with a crushing blow, a lot of damage. So sometimes if you try to keep your opponent in the corner, they try to jump over you. Let's see what you can do. What happens if your opponent tries to jump? Of course, you gotta time it right. Good way to try to keep your opponent trapped in a corner. Gotta time it right, of course. That's going to take some actual practice. Let's see. It's just about time for my next opponent. What's going on? Let me get my opponent to stop jumping. All right. I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna chill here. It's almost time for my next match. This may potentially be my last match, my last set if I lose. So we'll see what happens. We're about to play my next match.
Fight.
Alright, my next opponent should be announced any minute, so I'm a little bit confused why. I'm gonna quickly check to see why I don't have another opponent yet. I should have like 2 chances, I've only lost once. Oh, it says, on my end, it says that all the matches were finished. So. Oh, good. Just got my notification. I'm facing my next opponent right now. Alright, of course this means I'm going to be muting my mic. So, I'll do my best. I'm gonna message my opponent. I don't know why my opponent's not joining. Okay, so the PlayStation Network settings says that my opponent does not accept messages, so I can't message my opponent. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to wait. Let's see how long I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait about another 12 minutes. If my opponent isn't joined by then, I'm going to report my opponent absent. Because the rule says that we have until 6:30, at least Pacific time in America, we have until 6:30 to complete the set. So if that's not done, then the admin might just assign one of us as the random winner. I'm like, well, why should he be a random winner if he's not even joined to the match? I'm the one, you know, I'm ready anytime he is. He should be accepting messages too, so I can communicate with him. Alright, let's see if I can join this time. Yeah, I don't know why he's not joining. Let me check something. You know, a lot of people don't realize that this is actually a double elimination twist, so many people assume that they're eliminated. And a lot of people, I'm not saying about my opponent, but there are also some people who may not care about the tourney anymore after one loss. I think to make money, you have to be like a top 8, I think, to make money. It's pretty hard to get to top 8 once you lose one. You gotta win like the rest of them, and maybe you'll get top 8. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to give my opponents some time to join, a little bit more time. Give them about 10 more minutes. My opponent, no, 9 minutes now. My opponent has 9 minutes to join before I report him absent. Meanwhile, I normally would give a lesson, but I gotta stay focused in case my opponent wants to join, so I'm just gonna wait here. I guess I can talk on the mic though. See, I'm definitely looking forward to Mortal Kombat 1. I know I did state some complaints about it earlier, those specific complaints. I'm not upset with the cameo fighters. My theory is, we'll see what happens. You know, I'm not upset about it, but I'm not like super excited. I have a neutral opinion on that. What I am upset about though is that the Mortal Kombat 11 then the meters, it had an automatic recharge, which means that no matter how many times you press buttons, no matter how many times you hit the opponent or blocked attacks or anything or got hit by attacks, it wouldn't speed up your meter at all. I like the fact that it would just recharge by itself, so it actually encouraged you to focus more on strategizing than, you know, pressing buttons or focus on, you know, landing blocks and all that, and focus on actual neutral and strategizing. Okay, when's the right time to try my enhanced again, because my meter's not charged yet. So I am going to miss that. I'm not like super upset about it, but I am going to miss it though if it doesn't make it back in Mortal Kombat 1, because right now it does not look that way. It looks old school. I shouldn't say old school, but it looks more like Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X, where you'd have to hit your opponent to get your meters up and then use them as enhanced. So oh well. And the wake up attacks, I also kind of like the wake up attack strategy, how you could burn 2 meters, a defense meter and offense meter, to catch your opponent off guard waking up. I don't know if they'll make it back in Mortal Kombat 1, because it looks like we don't even have defense meters. I think they're just 3 meters. They're not offense or defense, they're just normal meters like you'd see in a Street Fighter game. So, or a KOF game. So I am a little disappointed in in that particular thing. But don't get me wrong, I'm still looking forward to Mortal Kombat 1. I'm definitely going to still play it competitively. I'm just saying I'm a little sad, that's all. One thing I hope they might do, it sounds more like wishful thinking, but one thing I hope they do is maybe do what they did in the old Street Fighter games, or like Capcom versus SNK, or Marvel versus Capcom. Maybe have like several options on how your meter works. There's like a normal meter, and then there's like a special meters. I think there were like 6 different meter options you could use in those old games, and maybe Mortal Kombat 1 might bring that back. I don't know if they will, but I'd be pretty happy if they did something like that. Now, I just reported my opponent as a no-show. If my opponent doesn't respond in like 10 minutes, I'm going to be a winner by default.
Fight. Fight. Silence. You caught death.
Okay, sorry about that. I just been paying close attention in case my opponent says, no, I was here, so argues against my report as a no-show. But so far, it does not look like that's happened. Yeah, I've been checking the computer and the phone. Opponent, I think, has 10 more minutes to respond. I know I said 10 minutes before, and I know for sure it's 10 minutes now. just paying close attention. Just don't want to miss any message I get from the admin. So this technically is supposed to end at 6:30, so not gonna have much time to respond if I get a notification.
Fight. Fight!
Yeah, so far no response. I'm gonna check again. Just 4 minutes left. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no, they just finalized my result. Never mind. Alright, that's it. I just won. In ESL, once you're declared the official winner, there's no turning back. I'm officially now they finalized my win, which is a good. Means I win by default. So that's 4 wins for me. And I actually, believe it or not, I have a new opponent that's happening right now. So, all right.
Sub-Zero. Baraka. Deadpool.
Can Tarkatans be redeemed?
My tribe seeks no redemption.
Then it has no honor.
Round 1. Fight.
You call that combat?
Round 2. Fight. Sub-Zero wins. Cabal. Retro Kid.
I run faster than you can catch.
You are skating on thin ice.
More like speed skating.
Round 1. Fight.
You're overstriding.
Round 2. Fight! Kombat wins.
The cold will slow you down.
Whatever, I'll run faster.
Running on ice is ill-advised.
Round 1. Fight!
Try harder.
Round 2. Fight! Final round. Fight! Sub-Zero wins.
Whoa, that was definitely a scary set. Glad I won though. Man, that was. I'm just glad, you know. I'm happy I was able to figure it out before it was too late. Because this is the kind of set I guarantee you. If let's say you beat me as Baraka, the first set, and then I beat as Baraka, he won against Kabal, I would have lost the match. It took me a bit of a while to figure him out, but I eventually did. I still made some silly decisions, though. I was fortunate that he didn't land the punch. I kept jumping and trying to do the kick. I was fortunate that it didn't come back to bite me at the end. He didn't land that punch, so at least I got lucky at the end. Yeah, and yeah, if I got caught in that, I just would have made sure. I just would have kept hitting, landing attacks on him. If he blocked it, if he blocked it, at least I would have been able to get chip damage. So chip can't kill in this game. Chip damage can't kill. Let's see. Thank you for the invite. It's me. I am in the middle of a tournament, though. Maybe in a bit, though. I might be able to join a casual. Let's see. When you say 1v1, are you asking for a casual match? Is that what you're asking for? It's me. Can you hear me? I'd be down for a casual match, but I won't be able to play that long. Let's see. I just got a new notification. Hold on, let me check my comments again. Refresh them. Yes. Okay, sure. Yeah, you can invite me. Just I can only play for like maybe a first to two, because I can play until my next opponent shows up. You can send me an invite, or I can send one to you. What's your PSN gamer tag? It's me. Do you play on PlayStation or Xbox? Because I think we do have crossplay here. Okay. That's your PSN gamer tag? Okay, let me find you. Okay. Did you get the invite? Yeah, just send an invite. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, someone on the Twitch chat, for those of you just trying, someone on the Twitch chat wanted to play casual, so I'm going to do that until I get called to my next tournament match.
Sub-Zero.
Alright.
The Joker. The Joker. The Hourglass.
Hold on, I need to check something. Oh, no worries, we're just here to have fun.
Fight!
Yeah, I've been playing Mortal Kombat 11 for a long time competitively. I've been practicing a lot, so I have a lot of experience.
I'll save the day.
Finish him! Sub-Zero wins.
I'll switch characters. I'll play as Scorpion.
Scorpion, the Joker.
Is there a particular stage you'd like? 'Cause I'm gonna hit random.
Black Market Alley.
Normally at tournaments and ranked matches it's supposed to be random, but if it's casuals, I'm totally cool with whatever stage anybody wants.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh, I messed up. Combo. That was a good wake-up attack. That can be really useful if you get into the rhythm of following up with a combo. It can be very useful.
Round 2. Fight.
Nice. Oh, good. Oh, good punish. When in doubt, just use the uppercut. That can be good damage. An uppercut, considering the fact it's really just one command, it's still good damage, even without the crushing blow. Alright. Well, let's see who's commenting.
Fancy meeting you here, Scorp.
Round 1. Fight.
I'm sorry.
I think, is like one of the few, if not the only characters in Mortal Kombat 11 who can actually use use cancel with a fatal blow. And I think it can lead to a crushing blow. I think. Not sure. Messed up the combo. Good work.
You will suffer.
Round 2. Fight. Finish him. Skill wins.
See, I'm gonna quickly check for comments up. No new comments. Okay.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight.
Messed up the combo again. Oh, very good. I don't know if it's gonna kill, we'll see. Oh, never mind, it will.
Finish him. Skill wins. Round 1. Fight. 2, fight.
Let me quickly check to see if I have any tournament matches. One moment, please. Not yet. Okay. I'm gonna play a little bit longer.
Round 1, fight. Round 2, fight. I'm sorry.
Nice. That was a good combo. Okay. This is the last match, okay? I just got a notification of my new opponents, so it's going to be my last match. Thank you for playing.
Round 1, fight.
Alright. Good games, Potato. Thank you for playing. Gotta face my next tournament match right now. Alright, I'm gonna look for my next opponent. By the way, for those of you who just joined, don't know what's going on. This is I was just playing some casuals with somebody who won who was watching on Twitch, wanted to play casuals. So next match is gonna be a tournament match. Let's see. Alright. So far I've won 4. No, I've won 5 so far, and lost 1. If I lose this one, I'm gone. Or I'm gonna mute the mic.
Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero. Kotal's Coliseum. Round 1, fight. Round 2, fight! Final round, fight! Fight. Round 2. Fight. Final round. Fight!
Ask for mercy.
Finish him. Sub-Zero wins.
That was definitely tough. Barely won both of them. That guy's good. I think the main reason why I won is because he like messed up too many strings and all that. I think if this was a more advanced Sub-Zero, I'd definitely be screwed right now. I'd be dead meat. Hey, Potato. I don't know if you're still in the Twitch chat, but I'm down for some casuals if you're still here. So just let me know in the Twitch chat. If you're not here, I'll give lessons. If someone else wants to play casuals, or Potato, if you still want to play casuals, let me know. If there are several people want to play casuals, I'll do a King of the Hill.
Sub-Zero. Scorpion.
Alright.
Shang Tsung's Island Rules.
This is one of my favorite soundtracks in Mortal Kombat 11. Yeah, that Sub-Zero player was really tough. Very good. So, I'm probably going to be playing one, maybe two more. I'm going to quickly check to see my status. Hold on. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I'll be right back. Just one moment, please. Alright, I just got called to a new match, so I'm going to be playing my next opponent.
Sub-Zero. Jackie Briggs. Kronika's Keep. Round 1, fight.
Shivering.
What's my name, man?
Round 2, fight. Finish him. Jackie Briggs wins. Round 1, fight. Fight! Final round. Fight!
No sweat. Chill out.
Finish her! Sub-Zero wins. Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight!
Get some.
Finish him! Jackie Briggs wins.
Oh, that's a shame. I really thought I had my opponent for a moment. I really thought I got it, but oh well. It's disappointing. I really feel like I could have won that match too. I promise I got into the wrong rhythm. I was going to do an attack right before she landed that attack. I should have done it. I don't know what I was thinking backdashing. I was just never able to recover. And then she figured out that to duck the throws, I was ready to do a low or an overhead to get a combo off of that, but by then I just could never get a chance to land the attack. So, well, so that means I'm gone. By the way, I played 8 matches. It would have been my last match anyways. So since the tournament is pretty much over for me, I'm going to be calling it quits. Thank you for all your support, everybody. I hope you all have a good day. Bye. Happy 4th of July.